welcome to the At The Races website. Of course, the jump season really getting into top flow now, and former top jockey Mick Fitzgerald, our very own Mick Fitzgerald, joins me here. And Fitzy, some really decent racing to look forward to.
Oh, very much so. We had such a fantastic season last year with a lot of horses coming through, and everybody wants it to be the same again this year.
Let's start off with the top hurdlers, because last year Katchit, well, he was as brilliant as a juvenile. A lot of people were a bit sceptical that he could bridge that gap, but he did, and he did in style.
Yeah, I think the big thing about Katchit is the fact that the horse jumps as well as he does and travels so easily. I'll never forget watching him when he won the Triumph Hurdle. He came by me like he just jumped in, and that's the big thing. That's how horses can make the jump. First 5-year-old to win for a long, long time, and a lot of people are thinking, well, can we have the same with the 5-year-olds coming through again? They're top of the market with Binocular coming right up into the forward of the picture. Katchit did it. People could see it a trend. Just
concentrating on the two, actually compare the two. Well, let's talk about Binocular, because you won on Binocular at Ascot. Yeah. Very, very impressed with him that day. He's got springs in his heels, and he really jumps.
Yeah, that was the big thing. He was so good at Ascot. He beat Crackaway Jack, and he just looked so good. And then he went to Kempton when I won him there. He was very disappointing. The ground was a little bit faster than probably is ideal for him. I think he's definitely going to be a horse you have to follow when there was a little bit of cut in the ground. Very good flat horse. Katchit wasn't such a good flat horse, and that's the big thing. He wasn't anywhere near as good as Binocular was in the flat. He's progressive, Binocular. He looked so good when he won at Aintree, and that's the big thing.
Comparing the two, Fitzy, well, from my opinion anyway, Katchit looks as though he's not got that much maturing to do. He is what he is. Whereas Binocular, there's surely more to come. He's got more scope about him.
Yeah, you'd hope there is more scope about him. He's a horse who did get better as the season went on. Katchit, he's just a little ball of energy. And like you say about Binocular, he's the type of horse that could improve. You hope he does improve. All the signs at the moment are showing that he has. But he's still got a little bit of a gap to bridge. And, Katchit, I think, at the moment, this time of the year, has the upper hand.
Right, let's bring in some other horses. A horse that, of course, you know very well, Punjabi. We saw him over in Ireland, Punchestown. Fantastic horse that he is, and improving.
Yeah, very much so. Again, he was a horse that I always felt he finished fourth behind Katchit when Katchit won the Triumph Hurdle. And I always thought Katchit had a little bit of the upper hand with him. But this horse, he has the scope to improve. He has the scope to grow and fill into himself, which he's certainly done this year. I've seen him a few times already at Seven Barrows, and the horse looks fantastic. Very good win in the end when he won the Irish Champion Hurdle at Punchestown. Looked very good that day. He progressed throughout the season because he was just held up quite a bit early on last year, and I think he's definitely one that could make the jump.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've got to get away from when you're working for us now. Go on, put your neck on the line, because obviously it's not the right thing to say to you. But out of the two, which one do you prefer out of Binocular and Punjabi?
I think Punjabi's already been there. He was a very good third in the champion this year. Binocular still has to make the jump up. I'd like to see him run a couple of times and then reassess the situation. Whereas Punjabi, he's got it there in the book. He's very versatile as far as ground goes. And, I think he could be a force to be reckoned with, Punjabi.
Well, your old mate, Tony McCoy, he could be forgiven for fancying his chances, because Jared is obviously a very decent individual.
Yeah, he's a horse that, J.P. McManus is very lucky that he's got a wealth of talent in that division at the moment. He had Captain CB who won the Supreme last year. Unfortunately, he's out. But, Jared, he's another horse that came into the reckoning, and he was so impressive when he won. He's a horse Noel Meade has always felt is one of the best he's ever had. So, he's another one that you cannot rule him out. He travelled with such consummate ease in his races. And that, again, is, like I said, it's a big thing at Cheltenham. You've got to be able to hold your position. You've got to jump well. And then it's really a battle up the hill.
The Pipes, well, Martin Pipe, now David Pipe, had a fantastic record in the Champion Hurdle. And, of course, Osana, from really nowhere. I mean, we knew he was a good horse, but, he's training his horses now to be good, isn't he, if you know what I mean? He's not sort of nicking little races in between. Osana's plainly going to make his presence felt, I'd have thought.
Yeah, he is. I just feel it's only my own personal opinion, but Osana, for me, I think is a horse that he could definitely benefit from jumping fences. He's big enough, he jumps well. I just think he lacks that little extra gear. And like we saw it last year when Katchit basically sprinted by him. left him in his wake, and I just feel that maybe that might be his swan song. You know, one with a little bit more toe is going to beat him. He's a dour stayer, real staying 2-miler.
Well, you're talking about doer stayers. Celestial Halo definitely comes into that category. He's ran well in the Ledger and then won the Triumph Hurdle. He's a horse that does gallop up the hill and gallops to the line.
Yeah, very much so. You know, you wonder when he got beaten at Aintree, was he at his best? He just looked so good when he won the Triumph.
What about Doncaster, when he got beat at Doncaster as well? I mean, they changed tactics. He's one you've got to drill, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and that'd be a worry. You know, Celestial Halo for me looks more like a stayers horse. I think he's one that he just doesn't lack the extra gear that you need to win a champion hurdle, and you know, for me, he would be quite low down on my list.
Okay, summing up then the top 2-mile hurdlers of the season, what do you see as a potential winner of the big race?
I think it's still going to be very hard for anybody to not catch it off his perch. He's such a good traveller. He did it as a 5-year-old. Who's to say he's not going to be able to do it as a 6-year-old?
And anything further down, bigger prices, Blue Beige and perhaps something like that, Franchuk even?
Yeah, I don't think Franchuk is good enough. Blue Beige, and I think he's a very progressive horse. He's one that certainly could come into it because he was a very good flat horse. And they have the ability to make the jump. His hurdling got better as the season went on. Jared, I think, is the very interesting one. He's a bit of an unexposed horse, so you don't really know how good he is. And I think horses like that, they're the ones you've got to look out for.